Okay, hello again everyone. I'm Kevo MC, and now I have in my background my old GT something BMX bike which I've just bought, and it's actually like the cheapest thing I could find on Facebook Marketplace. So hopefully this thing lasts. Um, I don't hope a lot for this thing, but I do want this thing to essentially last me some time and to have fun with it. So hopefully this thing can go on the channel a few times at least before breaking itself essentially, because I've had numerous accidents in like the first few hours on this thing. So wish me the best, guys, and please subscribe. I'm gonna show you everything that's wrong after this. Okay, now let me show you every single thing that's wrong with this old GT bike. And I don't know what this thing is exactly, but it is a GT. So I'm not that sure. This thing has no like numbers on it, because it's been like painted over twice, I'd say. Because it has some blue paint right here. At some point of its life it's been painted blue, and now it's silver, and it's all silver. So first thing I'm gonna address down here is the pedals. These are so sticky cracked, so under my standards. And the bottom bracket is wobbly. I'm okay with that. This thing is the original GT crank. Only thing is that it's pretty old. I mean, yeah, these are the original cranks and the original, what you call this thing? Chainring. Okay. Then it's got this, which is essentially something they call in Indonesia a rem trommel, which probably means a drum brake, I'd say, from what this thing looks like. This has like this little lever thing, so when you pedal and pedal the opposite way, it'll just brake. And it is not a free coaster, because actually, you know what? Can actually roll back. This is rolling forwards, yeah. See, rolling forwards. Can actually roll back infinitely without even pedaling. See, and if you want to brake, just pull this thing backwards and it'll brake. This needs some time to get used to. The next thing I found out is that the alignment of this chainring and that little sprocket on the back there was not right. So what I did was obviously take off the back wheel, cause this is a single speed, then push these things back to like line this thing properly. Next thing that happened was this thing couldn't even see that's oh, this thing's loose right now. I'm not really sure why that thing's happening, but you know what, this thing, when this bike came, I forgot to tighten this thing down. This thing was like super hard to like take off, so I had to like open that thing, but I couldn't. So when you put a wrench on this thing and just pull down, which means open, obviously, like pulling down goes that way though. See, that was like crazy, cause I was pulling down so hard on this thing that the bike actually lifted up from the ground, and that thing still wouldn't budge. So what I did was I put some penetrating fluid, WD-40, on that thing, and it actually loosened up. So I want it to be loose right now before I actually put this thing all back on, because obviously this thing's pretty hard to take off. It's probably something for the threads, but I'm not sure. So next thing, tires. I mean, that's before the tires. Let's go to chain. So the chain is rusted as heck. Oh, I hit my own gimbal. This thing's rusted to hell and back, and it's also painted at some point. It is pretty worn down, but it actually still does the job, so I'm just gonna leave it there. And because it's a single speed chain, it's pretty strong. The other chain I have is a 7 speed, which is broken, so that's not really good for this thing. Then next thing for me to go over is the dynamics of a drum brake. So the drum brake, all it does is like squish the bearings, I think, from what I actually seen from how this mechanism works. Probably squishes the drum brake. And so the thing that I mean it squishes the bearings, so what you can expect from a drum brake setup is tons of play. See? Let me show you. And when you engage the brake, which is pulling back, it's not gonna wobble that much. Let me show you. This is engaged. There you go. When it's engaged, it wobbles not that much. But when it's not engaged, wait. Let's break it. Then, okay, see, wobbles like heck. And pump bracket, already talked about that thing. I will not be changing this thing, although it actually makes some sounds like knocking sounds when you're riding. It actually has this like quick release seat post thingy, and these marks were caused by me taking the seat out. This seat has to change. Like this thing's cracked in a few places. Oh dang it! Just pushed my gimbal a bit too far. There you go. This thing's cracked in a few places right there. There. It's not worth keeping. And I would advise like not even using a seat on this thing. This is something very useful though. This thingy right here is awesome for like carrying your bike around. And so next thing I found is these things, which are essentially brake line clamps for a brake line that's not here. Then off we go to the front part. Oh yeah, the alignment. So let me show you the alignment. This is not very straight. I mean, not very centered. So what the previous owner has tried to do is put some washers like over there and over here, but he put like 5 over here and like 2 over here, which is why obviously the wheel's not in the center. So I'm gonna fix that later. Then the headset bearings are pretty nice, oddly enough. These things don't even wobble. My everyday bike actually wobbles a bit, and this thing doesn't wobble. And so next, tire. So yeah, so I got this thing with a flat front tire, which is this tire in front of me right here. I got a little puncture on this thing inside here, and you know what, this thing doesn't even have rim tip, so that's probably why this thing got a puncture. This thing has like rim, inner tube, and then tire, so it doesn't even have an what you call it, like rim tip rubber thing to like protect your tube from the spokes. Next thing is the fact that, wait, let's see, there's no flash. Oh yeah, there's flash. I'm pretty new to the V30 right now, so this is the tire, and what you can see obviously is that you can see the obvious lines of the nylon inside the tire, which means that it's time to change the tire. The wheel itself is actually pretty true. That's pretty nice for a cheap wheel. Then I've got this right here, which is not supposed to be looking that way. Not too sure why that thing actually looks like that, but I'm fine with that. Then you come to the issue of the rim tension. So I mean the tire in the back's nice. See, it's pretty new. When I mean new, I mean old but has tread. Then this thing, look at the tension on this thing. Show you so. It's a miracle this thing's even working right now. See? But I got this thing for like the cost of the GT stem, so that's pretty worth it for me. Then it's got this bar, which is pretty obviously either chrome or alloy. Not too sure. Sounds like chrome to me, but I'm not too sure, cause it actually has some alloy coloring on it. But I'm not that sure about that. Then spin job's pretty rubbish. looks like rubbish. Then we go to the back, show you. What else? Mm, okay, so you can see this like flaking around here. Let me show you. Wait, you see, flaking occurring around here. That's actually not from the paint, but it's from the paint under the paint. So I would probably want to repaint this, but I'm not sure how I'm gonna repaint this because of the state. And oh my god, I just realized that like this thing has a ton of rust inside there. See, it's out the front fork. I was like wheeling and stuff on this thing this morning, so lucky this thing didn't really break on me. Next area of concern is nothing really. So actually, this thing actually works. It rides nice. Not as nice as a normal bike, but it's actually pretty nice. Then what else can I say? The the bike's actually pretty noisy, and the noise is like the only complaint I have right now. So if you would like remove the bottom bracket noise, I'd be like, totally okay with this thing. It's pretty noisy. I can imagine that. Then when I got this thing, I actually ripped the hole in my pants, like getting snagged on this thing, because this chain alignment wasn't right. So that's something to like take care of. Probably give like the extension around here or something like in the future. Then tires, I've patched them up, so now they actually work. Then nothing else really to say about this thing. I got this thing for the equivalent of nothing, I'd say. This thing costs like less than, wait, if you convert this thing over to dollars, it'll be $10. So you can see how cheap this thing is and why I actually think it's worth it. But I'm gonna show you how I can actually use the BMX in the future. So thank you and good.